Hello and welcome to Tangerine. I forgot my intro. Hello. What the fuck is Space Marine? Okay, so let's get into Warhammer, I guess. I think this is the first ever Warhammer game No way, I talked about blood shooters and thieves from the demo
Yeah,
festival.
we did
Okay,
talk about that, unfortunately.
so
um,
my
that
history, my
shit game.
my history of Warhammer games. I have never been a Warhammer fan previously. I've never played the physical tabletop, but I have a friend who is very into Warhammer, and he's
Yeah,
slowly been trying to get me into Warhammer by exposing me to some of the games. Um, the
the
reason
good
this is
ones.
the reason this is hard. I don't like strategy games, and the Warhammer license is giving out like candy. So essentially, anyone can make a Warhammer game. So they're like, it really dilutes the pool of like good Warhammer games from bad
Yeah,
Warhammer games.
but
And
I will say,
essentially, a lot of the good Warhammer games are strategy games, and I really just
yeah,
can't get into strategy games.
and like you want to like get like the 40K stuff specifically,
Yeah,
like
so
distinguish the two.
no, because yeah, I've talked. I'm a big fan of Vermintide 2. I've
Yeah,
talked about that previously. I think Vermintide 2 is really cool, but we're talking about this concept of fantasy and futuristic cyberpunk sort of sci-fi stuff. I was saying like in terms of like
sci-fi versus
different,
fantasy.
yeah. So like I much prefer Fallout to the Elder Scrolls. I much
Yeah.
prefer the look of Cyberpunk to The Witcher 3. Like I'm
Hmm.
much more into like this. Like I much prefer the aesthetics of 40K compared to the Age of Sigmar Vermintide sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Like that's sort
I
of
would
more my
say like
stuff.
I'm a fan of both sci-fi and fantasy, and like 40K is like really cool, and like to me the Sigma stuff is a bit. It doesn't quite. It doesn't match other fantasy stuff. I'll say that.
Let's just start with like wasted potential, and then we'll go into like
Okay.
some of the good. I
Yeah,
mean, because
absolutely.
obviously I'm very hyped for Vermintide. Sorry, Darktide from Fat Shark because I'm a big Vermintide 2 fan. I think it's one of the best co-op shooter games out there, and the fact that I can now play it as essentially the what are they called, the prison core. What's it called? Essentially, because
Oh,
you start reading one Wikipedia article on Warhammer lore, 40K lore, and you're like, "Damn, this is fucking cool." And you start going down like
every
a
planet
rabbit
has its
hole.
own lore
The
page. So
penal core
yeah,
on Warhammer, what's it called? Essentially, the penal legion is they take a bunch of prisoners and they're like, "Hey, if you don't want to rot in prison or be like executed, essentially you can just be sent in as like a suicide squad for the Emperor
yeah,
in order to
yeah,
take over planets. And like the idea of Dark Tide is going to be you're in the penal core, and they have like these suicide collars on them. So if you like try and run away, they'll just blow you up. Which I think is really cool. I'm very hyped for Bolt Gun because I love boomer shooters and it's a Warhammer boomer shooter. So hopefully that's
yeah.
good.
That generally looks good. So hopefully,
Currently,
hopefully it
what you
is.
are seeing is Warhammer Spacehulk Deathwing. This is the enhanced edition because there was two different versions of it where they tried to fix it, but I don't think fully
Yeah,
succeeded. I just gotta say, aesthetically, this game is fucking amazing. Like, great
yeah.
aesthetically.
Look at the structures and the textures and the lighting.
The
It's just
bolters, the
it's exactly
weapons,
what Warhammer looks
the
like.
idea of
Oh
so I'm not 100% on Warhammer lore. I don't think Tony you're 100% either. So I'll
no,
just go over like
I
this
definitely
is
know more, but I'm not 100% on like knowing the stuff
so
like
you see that
our
I'm shooting
friend
on
is.
lightning. I'm a psyker, so that's like there's a
Yeah,
unit that has like magical ability sort of
you're
thing. That
using
is in
sonic
lore.
ability
Like
basically.
40K is sort of like a mix between medieval and in sci-fi in a lot of ways as well.
Well, they still
They
use
use
melee
swords as
weapons.
was a lot,
Yep,
yeah.
yeah. They have chainswords. A lot of the ultramarines have chainswords,
Um,
chainsaw swords, I suppose.
but yeah, the aesthetics. So the lore of this is a Death Hulk. Sorry, a Deathwing. Is that like a specific unit in Warhammer, or what is the unit
I
they're
don't know.
sending in called? this is essentially like an elite unit sort of thing, like a very powerful unit you send in last shot. Like the Ultramarines are another one where it's essentially
Yeah.
like they're
Well,
genetically enhanced from kids that basically they remove all of their organs. I was watching a video recently where there was like a surgeon going over
I
how realistic it is to replace all of the organs in a body and try and make an Ultramarine. He was like,
I
it's kind of
believe
Oh, Tony, look at this fucking room. This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
so
this is
cool.
cool. I was gonna say, I believe Ultramarines are grown from like a gene pool. Like they have like
Right.
set gene pools they have to be grown
Apparently
from.
they're like grown from the Emperor himself. He's like this just giant
Yeah,
buff dude sort of thing.
yeah, and like if and a lot of I know that in the lore, like some like Ultramarine like I can't remember what the word is now, but factions basically have like been lost because like they've lost the gene pool. Some of them.
Um, but yeah, there's tons of Warhammer lore that you can go into that I don't know essentially that you're sending in these elite like marine units to go and clear out these derelict ships that have essentially been consumed by these chaos demons and like
Uh, in
Nekos, I
this
think they're
game,
called.
yeah, in this game there's like Tyranids, which are not chaos. They're not chaos god
Right,
entities or
okay.
anything. They may like still have like warp effects, but as far as I'm aware, they're not
So
chaos
one
people.
thing I will keep going positive, the atmosphere of this is great. Like you're just on the ship, there's this amazing like soundscape of just I wish I
Um,
could listen to it, but
metal machinery.
this is before we had like the recording software update, where I could record audio without picking up desktop audio, so I can't
Oh
play
right,
sound
okay.
for this. But I would let
Unfortunate.
otherwise I'd let you listen to the sounds of just pure dripping ship atmosphere, and then suddenly, this fucking
Tyranids
creature
attack.
just jumps out and
Yeah,
attacks you, and I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
that's cool. That's really, really cool. The part where it's let down is like the difficulty. Um,
I would say the movement. I kind of get you're meant to be like clunky, right? In like in your armor, right?
yeah,
But it feels too clunky to me. So I've actually played both the games we're talking about today.
yeah,
It just feels too clunky to me, and it's like it just doesn't feel good to me. And then the weapons feel kind of janky,
yeah.
and they look really cool. They look really cool.
Essentially, like you kind of have to play as a squad because the difficulty is not
Yeah,
very well. I was playing with one other friend, and we were like, maybe if we queued up with more people, it might be a bit easier, sort of thing. It almost feels like it's unplayable single player. Like it's
do you know that?
clearly they made this as like a four-player co-op game, sort of thing, and
The
essentially
only thing I
like
couldn't.
it almost has that DNA of like a Left 4 Dead style game, like
Yeah,
Vermintide
yeah.
2 is. Vermintide 2 is very much more a
This
Left
is
4 Dead style
slower.
game, but this is more
Yeah.
like
Dead Space meet Vermintide.
specific. This is more like Back for Blood, or
Okay, yeah.
there's specifically a game that's very much like this that was made by the original Payday devs, um, where it had like stealth and you were fighting aliens on a derelict ship.
Right, right. Okay.
I always forget the name of the game because I played it with a friend. I played the beta once with a friend who was really drunk and just kept running in and alerting all the enemies, and it wasn't very fun. So I
We've
pop.
definitely done a video on it, but yeah, I don't know what it is. Also,
Um,
the thing I couldn't figure out, like,
yeah,
every now and again you're able to like recall back to like your room to like repair yourself. I didn't really understand that mechanic.
you can portal that. So the idea I think is with the Deathwing, or you can teleport in and out of battle, sort of thing. Is the
Yeah,
idea of them?
you go for like a warp, you go for like a warp gate sort of thing to get
Yeah.
out of there temporarily. They just seemed odd to me. To me, it was like, oh, you're leaving to then return. That just didn't. I don't know how the law goes with these sort of things. That just didn't work in my head of like what should be going on. Like you should just like be stuck on here, and not like
GTFO. That's the
right.
game. This game is very much like GTFO with a Warhammer skin and done worse. But um,
Yeah. Just look how cool the textures and the weapons and the armor. It's just
I
such. It's
imagine
just
that
wasted potential is the real
I
word.
think they either should have like doubled down on that extreme co-op horror shooter where
Yeah,
like they definitely have like big strength in this. It's dripping in this like terrible like Rip Out from 3D
look at the
Realms
blood.
recently. I was like, this is a great example of like a slow-paced horror tactical shooter that's really really
Yeah,
fun. Like check out Rip Out if you're looking at this and going, that's
and
cool.
and, and we do need
Um,
more of those because like a lot of games try that, but like
yeah.
fail. We need more good ones.
Um, Whereas like Vermintide and games like the Anacrusis or something like they're much more like Left 4 Dead-y, where it's much more just here's tons of hordes. It's very much just a
Yeah,
simplistic co-op game. I love that all the doors you can like hack into and like specifically build like routes. Like oh, let's tunnel the enemies into this hallway, or let's like block the enemies from coming into here, and enemies
yeah.
can break down doors. It's like
There's some
there's
good ideas.
there's some good ideas and there's really good DNA in this game, and ultimately I tried it multiple times and it got to a
Yeah,
point where it's like I don't want to play that again. I'm just not enjoying myself. It
yeah.
sucks that it's like there's so
It
much
looks
good
so good,
stuff in
but
it.
feels so bad.
Yeah, so
I
much
guess it
risk
looks and sounds
potential.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. What okay? I will mention like one other like annoyance I have. I personally don't think like the HUD elements or like the ammo counts like really fits
Mm.
in with the rest of it. It looks a little bit. I don't know. I've seen other games do similar stuff. I think that is the aesthetic, but like I just
Yeah.
don't think it works for me personally. Like I want more like Star Warsy holographic, like it barely works sort of thing. That's how I imagine this sort of
Okay,
world
so
to
I think
work. But
just sort of reading some people's reviews, you are Terminators and you're fighting hordes of gene stealers.
yeah, Gene Stealer is a type of Tyranid, so they
Gigantic abandoned space hulks. The space hulks are the ships that you're going on to.
right. Okay,
Because again, I'm not hugely. I don't know all the lore, but I
no.
do enjoy
Uh,
playing. I have enjoyed playing some games. I'll tell you a game I've enjoyed playing recently, Tony. I've been playing Warhammer
Space
Space
Marine.
Marine. Space Marine.
You know how
My,
the orcs in like Shadow of
I
Mordor, like you
have
just want to
okay.
quote them.
Yeah, after playing this game, I have so much more love for the orcs in Warhammer after playing this game.
So good.
There's such great characters in this game. Where this giant fucking chaos demon just comes out of this portal, and like essentially the head orc guy is just like, I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna fucking kill you, and just like pulls him off a cliff and just tries to like fucking murder him by
Yeah,
suicide
orcs
murdering.
are
And I'm just like,
great.
if you like read
This game is fantastic.
if you read the lore about orcs, they essentially believe that yellow stuff makes them fly, and the
Yeah,
magic of orcs exists because through like pure belief. Because
yeah.
they
So like,
believe so
the,
much that yellow stuff makes them fly, then it actually makes them
yeah. So
fly and
the
stuff like that. Which I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh,
So
that's really really cool.
so the thing is like the magic system in Warhammer is like it's all like psionic based and like through the warp and like your mind
This
like
guy,
controls
this is my
this.
favorite
Yeah,
character in
he's the leader.
Warhammer. I love this guy.
But
Get
yeah.
off
So
my ship,
also
Space
so
Marine!
yellow goes faster, Joe. Red is bigger explosion. So that's
Yeah,
why those turrets are red to do more damage.
they remind me of like the goblins in Magic the Gathering, where they're just like
Yeah.
blowing themselves up.
Because I think the Mechanicus like noted that like some of the stuff for the orcs build should never like be held together, like only through magic. Basically, they actually like can continue.
Is that an execute system for health pre Doom 2016? Is that an
It's
execute for
ins-
health system pre? Actually, I don't know if this is pre Duke Nukem Forever. To be honest with you,
it's for the same year, wasn't it?
yeah, I think it's the same year that it came out.
But this is much better than Duke Nukem Forever, so I'm
So
still giving it to
again,
this
in
one.
the Tangerine the Wheel video where we did Sleeping Dogs, I was like, why the fuck would you ever want shoot on like left control and space to dash and stuff like that? Again,
Oh yeah, yeah,
different time. Space Marine lets you rebind those keys though. So I could
yeah.
actually have
There's
like
actually
right
some
click
control.
to aim, which is like it's so hard to go back to a game and not right click to aim now.
I
But
completely agree.
I'm glad that this game actually let you rebind those keys because it was very annoying that you couldn't, especially when this is a shooter game. So very
Imagine
much
this with more modern graphics. I can't wait for the second game.
Yeah, Warhammer 2, I think, could be really, really good. I'm
Oh
pleasantly
my
surprised
god.
by this game. I mean, I when this came out, I was like, I really wanted to try it, and
Yeah.
I just never got around to it. And then I played it recently, I think this year
I have
or last year, and I loved it. I was like, holy shit! I never played this game, but it's not just
yeah.
it's not just like one of the best Warhammer games I've played so far, but it's just a really good game in general. I think
Yeah,
anyone
yeah, yeah.
the thing about Warhammer Space Marine, I think even if you're not interested in Warhammer, you could play this and go, damn, that's a cool shooter game.
I was gonna say like I've like a bit of sweet memories with this because like this game was obviously recommended by Total Biscuit, right? And I
Yeah,
bought it and played it like because of that. And I vaguely knew of Warhammer at the time, but like I had no idea about it, like much of the stuff. And then I played this
yeah,
game, I was like, oh, like this is really fucking cool. The lore is cool, like this combat is cool. It's a really good game.
yeah. Oh, you love to see those JPEG backgrounds. I love going back into
Yeah.
games where it's like you go back and you remember playing Bioshock, right? And you look out the window and it's like it's so realistic. It's like I'm underwater. And then you go back and play Bioshock now, it's like this low resolution JPEG image
to
of water, and it's like,
to be
oh,
fair though, we've got higher
Space
resolution monitors to
Marine.
show it. But yeah, I can't wait for the sequel with better textures and stuff. I still
I
think like the armor still looks good. Like
go
the
back and
textures of
play
the
like
terrain.
going back and
Nah.
playing this now in 1440p 120 FPS. Very, very fun. Very, very fluid and smooth. Like great experience now. So like this game has
The hardware
aged
can play
really
it.
well.
Yeah.
So I think this may even be a game that was added to FPS boost. I can check.
Oh really? Okay.
Where the Xbox went back and
Yeah.
remastered a bunch of games.
Boosted it for their games, yeah, or for their consoles.
Or like did a
I'm
backwards
surprised because I feel like the
compatibility
PC
thing.
port and stuff was good. So like, I feel like can't remember like the WTF is of this game now. Like it's been so long. I mean, like over 10 years, right?
Let me just
Oh,
make sure I'm not lying.
Little Mechanicus skull. You love those. Can I just say though, like as someone who likes sci-fi, the someone who likes like cyborg things, and someone who likes like gothic cathedral stuff, Warhammer's great. That's what I'm
Oh,
gonna say.
based on this post here, somebody was saying that Warhammer 40k Space Marine is not backwards compatible, so maybe they didn't. Maybe I'm
Oh, okay.
misremembering that, but I don't
Maybe they couldn't
have
do
an
it.
Xbox. But what I'm going to say now is if they went back and they remastered all those games, Warhammer Space Marine playing it on Steam now with higher resolutions, 40
Yeah,
4K,
modern
120
hardware.
hertz, feels really
Yeah,
fucking cool. So like
yeah,
it's even better now in some respects.
yeah, yeah. I feel like when I was playing it, I could like barely hit 60. So old graphics cards though.
Yeah, those graphics cards with a picture of like those weird early CGI images on them.
Mm-hmm.
It's the good shit.
Mm-hmm. But no,
The
the visceral. I don't know. I just imagine like the previous game, but like obviously it's like older, so it's like, but it still like shows like these grand like environments. Like it tried its best for the time, right? And it still, I don't know, it still holds up. I think it still looks great.
It holds up really well. Like I'd recommend to most people to try this game, even if you're not
Yeah,
into
hundred
Warhammer. Like
percent.
it's really, really, really fun.
You don't even need to like Warhammer to like this game, and
Yeah.
I agree with that sentiment.
The only things that you would need to know going into it is, I would say just rebind the default keys because they're not
Yeah,
great for modern
hundred
systems.
percent.
Um, and then I'll just check the PC Gaming Wiki. You may have to download the patch, but I don't remember if I did. Warhammer Space Marine PC Gaming. Double check for you. See if there was any patch there to install. No,
Okay.
it seems like it's fine out the box, so it needs to be patched. Which is there's no essential improvements. So yeah, just Just works out the box sort of thing.
Well, I
So
mean, you can mod it to put the helmet back onto the all the main characters because they shouldn't be not having their
then
helmets
you
on.
couldn't see Titus's beautiful face.
They do have beautiful face. Tyson, yeah. Can I just say I really do like the story of this game. Like I actually
Yeah,
think
I
it's
really
really
liked it
good.
as well.
And I just love like this guy is like he's like this huge fucking guy. He just like speaks so respectably and calmly. It's great.
Oh, it's just like they're just killing like 50,000 orcs. He's just like, I wonder what I'm gonna have for dinner tonight.
Yeah, this as well is like the imperial like the normal like humans are like fighting and like they're getting completely wiped out and you just turn up and just like turn the tide and it's like you're just
Well,
like oh yeah
essentially,
what's happening?
you're like a god to these people. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
most of these, at least from my understanding of the Lord, most of these soldiers will never see an ultramarine in their life. They're like
No.
some of the highest soldiers up in the Emperor's army.
Ultramarines can take on armies basically.
Yeah, so
So
essentially they're like, oh, this planet's been overtaken by orcs. I will send an ultramarine over there to go and
yeah,
take the planet
yeah.
back. You're like a one-man army, and this game does a
I
really good job of making you feel like a one-man army. Like
I saw
it's like
a lore
it's
video.
a power fantasy game. It makes you
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
really cool.
I saw a lore videos trying to say this like I think they said like if the oh I guess if the Emperor was trying to take over Earth, like to like our real Earth, like you'd only need like 11 Ultramarines. It's like, and even that would be overkill.
There it is.
So I can't remember the exact number, but it was something like that. They are ridiculously powerful.
Oh, you get there's a big breadth of different weapons as well, so you can focus on like doing more melee combat if you want. There's like blasters. There's like the bolter guns.
The bolt gun,
There's
yeah.
you can choose how you want your ammo. So because I'm someone who likes sniping a lot, so I had like a sniper a lot of the
Oh, you went for
time.
sniping, did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a fan of
I
sniping.
did not. I had fun just being up and close, and it
No,
was great fun.
I generally in games if there's a sniper option, I usually will take a sniper option at some point.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I like sniping, so
No, that's
cool to
good
see
though.
it's
I
something.
didn't even think about that. Because I didn't like I don't like try and go for sniper. I didn't even think about that. Had like that sort of variety of
Yeah,
options.
there's big weapon variety in this game.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The You can constantly switch up on the fly and just change how you're playing. It feels really fun to
Yeah,
play, and
it's brilliant. And the execution system, I feel like it's not as good as Doom,
no, it's not. It's
but
nowhere near as
considering
close.
it's an older
But
game, it's fantastic.
yeah, that is how you like. You have regenerating shields like Halo, and then
Yep.
in order to get your health back, you have to execute enemies. That's how they do it.
Yeah, I really like that system. It makes you really feel. It makes you feel powerful and like keeps
I
you in
like
the
how in
combat.
Space Marine they make you feel like a Space Marine.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like in Spider-Man, you really feel like Spider-Man.
it's a feat because I feel like a lot of games fail at that. So like it's definitely. Oh, look at that guy.
Suicide fucking.
Oh
I don't
my
know what they call
god!
it. You would call that like a targ if it was
It
Star
looked
Trek.
like a talk to me about Star Trek.
You never get to see a targ until Enterprise.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
They always talk about targ. This is
they
going off on
always
a
talk
tangent
about.
about a different sci-fi lore thing. They always
Yeah,
talk about Klingons. Always talk about targs, which they hunt on
Worf
the planet.
especially wants to hunt targets all the time.
They never show them, which I think was probably a good idea until they have the CGI of like early two
Yeah,
thousands to show one in Enterprise.
they look pretty. It looked okay in
I thought it
Enterprise.
looked fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
it would have been interesting to see what they would have done with like practical effects, but
yeah.
yeah, that's a complete tangent. You know what else is a tangent? Tangerine
That's
in
a
off Warhammer.
oh,
So
grenades! Come on,
yeah,
grenades!
grenades are cool. I use grenades, really cool.
Oh, look at
So
that!
yeah, I've played Warhammer Space Marine. Definitely one of my favorite games I played this year. From my games of didn't come
Oh,
out
just
this year, but I
look at
played
it.
this year. Um,
What year did it come out? I was gonna. I was gonna. I
2011.
forgot. 20 years, 2011. Yeah,
Yeah.
good year. Good vintage.
Ah, yes, a great vintage. One of the games of the what was it? Games of the decade. Is decade
Games of
10
all the
years?
years. Go
What's
to.
that? What's the one for 10 years? Because we did that list on the 5 year. Did we do that on the 5 year anniversary, the 4 year anniversary podcast with Daniel back in like 2020, the
Well, we
start of 2020?
yeah we did. I can't remember what we called it though. Yeah, games of the decade. I assume.
But we didn't talk about Warhammer Space Marine because I had not played it then.
I'd forgotten how good this was. I'm gonna be honest.
Uh, yeah, I'm gonna try and.
Oh, look at it.
I have Necromunda Hired Gun. I'm gonna try that out some point. So I'll try another Warhammer game. So I like that. I'm gonna be trying Dark Tide when that comes out. Very excited for that.
You're
And I
not
want to
you're not
try.
trying Mechanicus then. You're not an
No,
XCOM strategy
that's an
guy.
X. That's the
I will
XCOM
play
one.
that.
Yeah,
I need to play that properly. I think I might actually like, depending how much I like it, I might actually record something, and then we can actually
right.
talk about it.
Well, that's the end
That's a
of
that's a promise.
Tangerine Warhammer, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.